Shall we do a quick break? What do you think? 10-minute break? Oh, there's a question here.
Can you show us anything about Facebook?
Can I say anything about Facebook?
In
In YQL. We have all the tables in there, so let's try it out quickly. I haven't used it myself yet, so you get cookies, get object, bloody hell, there's a lot of stuff. Friends get, let's try this out. So with desk you always get the description of what you need for this. So in this case, you have a key here. So you need the secret and the session key and the API key for that. So you sign up for an API key and then you use Facebook just like you would, but with the simple language rather than calling all different methods. So that's the only thing that it does there. Yeah.
Can I retrieve behind the data, like the images, the image data?
Yeah.
From Flickr, I want to display the image.
Yeah.
Is there a way to do this?
There is a way to display the image, and actually all you need to do is order the data that you get, like the farm and stuff like that, in the right format to put it into a URL. There's a great post by my colleague, I think it's on Naked Technologist. Yeah.
Serialized.
Serialized as base64.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. What you actually can do, you can use YQL for that. So I can say select star from, and my computer's dying, interesting. Select star from Flickr photos search, where text equals Jordan. And we did this before, so let's do the photo ID. And then get the sizes. Select star from Flickr photos sizes, where photo ID. I've done this a bit, so I know it from by heart. And size equals thumbnail. Label equals thumbnail. So that one gives you the URL. And then in you get the source, and then in the data set you have a data URI table. Let's limit it to one to show it quickly. So that gives me one URL, and then I can go through select star from data URI where URL equals. Probably an error because I haven't used data. Yeah, there you go. And now you got the table, get the images as a base64 encoded image.
Is there a special case for the HTTP requests? HTTPS?
HTTPS requests, yeah, the data endpoint goes to HTTP and HTTPS, so you can use both of them. I also wrote a HTML table. If you have an HTML table that you want to have that needs a post rather than a GET request, I've written an open table that does that for you as well. Yeah?
I want to ask about it's legal to use data from any website or not?
If the data, we just allow you to get to the data. The license agreements that come from that has to be supported by the other website. So you cannot take CNN.com's homepage URLs and just use them on your page, the headlines. But you could use it for like converting it into other formats and these kind of things. So if a company does not want YQL to scrape them, then they actually put it in the robots.txt file and then it will stop working. So scraping is always dirty, but it's a great way to actually just show what you can do with a system like YQL. There's a question up there and there and there and there and there and there. We've got two up there and then we come down to you tomorrow when we're done. Oh, that was useful.
Okay, I have a question. Can I create custom data table and add it to your list?
Yes, you can write your own table that doesn't show up in the list at all. If you just want to use it, you can use the use command. So instead of putting it in the repository and using it somewhere else, I think the Winter Olympics medals has that. There you go. Is that still a 404? So let's take, for example, any XML table, any XML document that we have that is a table, one from GitHub. So instead of having it in the repository, I can say just use the URL as table, or in this case as geo, and then desk geo, and that one would give me the interface. So you can write your own things, you don't have to make it public. It will just go through the endpoint. A question right below you as well, over there.
I would like to ask about the authentication mechanism or the policy between YQL and other platforms.
Yeah.
Where to start? I don't know. Shall we look always to Yahoo network to see which platforms is compatible or not?
It normally talks about, in the table itself, it tells you if it needs a secret. So by definition, we only support OAuth with other systems. But if you need a special authentication, you can do it in a table. So for example, if you look at, what are they called again? The American film thing. Damn it, what's it called again? You can actually do the Netflix. There you go. They needed a special authentication because they actually had a double XAuth whatever going on. So what you need there is actually it needs a CK and a CKS, so tickets and a secret ticket. And if you look at the source code of that table, they're actually using the OAuth table directly from Google Code to do that kind of stuff. So normally we go through OAuth, and all you have to do is sign in with OAuth to YQL, and YQL does the OAuth to the other application for you. And if it needs a special case, then you just provide the extra keys. And if you go through HTTPS, it will not be available to the outside world.
Thank you.
And we have one down here. All the way down.
Thank you. Is there any restrictions in accessing the YQL endpoint from other platforms and programming languages?
No, it's a normal HTTP endpoint. So anything that can do REST queries can get there. So I'm using it in JavaScript and in PHP and in Python. I haven't done it in .NET, but there are a few libraries out there as well. And the only thing that you have a certain restriction of like 10,000 hits an hour and 100,000 a day. And if you go to the documentation of YQL, that's actually nicely explained at the end of it. So YQL, that's the GitHub one, that's not good. You actually get all the information about about YQL itself, and down here you have the usage limits per application. So this is through OAuth, would be 100,000 a day. Per IP, it's 1,000 calls per hour and 10,000 calls per hour if you go through authentication. So what I normally tend to do is use JavaScript and use the JSON callback. So actually the authentication comes from my end user and not from myself. So I don't do it 1,000 times from my server, but people only get blocked if they do it 1,000 times from their server, and that's their problem then.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't have time for a break.
We don't have time for a break, so we're moving on. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about quickly, and we don't have the time, and I'm going to make it a bit shorter, is our Geo APIs, and they get me excited because I like Geo stuff. As I said before, people always talk about Geo is about maps, and Geo is not about maps. Geo is about maps and information. So In geotechnologies in Yahoo we have a few things. I talked about Fire Eagle before, which allows you to tell people where you are on the planet in a secure manner. And then we actually have systems like Placemaker, GeoPlanet data, Place Finder in our own maps. The GeoPlanet dataset is our Where on Earth ID dataset that I talked about before. So it actually gives you all the information of the world in a sorted manner, in an organized manner, in a clean manner. So you can actually use the GeoPlanet API, or you can download the GeoPlanet data if you want to use it offline. And that's sometimes a really good idea if you do something heavy and you don't want to go over the internet all the time. And you can download that data. It's a big XML file, and the API gets you information into that one. So what can you do with that? I built this GeoPlanet Explorer for this, so you can see what's going on there. So this one now actually found me in Al-Mujri, in the suburb of Jordan, and that's the IP number of here. So if I want to get a better one, I actually use the W3C Geo API. That actually gives me now, I'm actually in Amman, the suburb, and here's the Where on Earth ID of that, and this is a map that shows me where I am at the moment. So what GeoPlanet gives me on top of that, so that you can do with any IP lookup system, what GeoPlanet gives me on top of that, gives me all this hierarchy here. So I can say, what are the ancestors of this one? And it gives me the postcode, it gives me Amman, it gives me -Amman, whatever that is, it gives me Jordan, the country. What is the countries of, what's the ancestors of Jordan? The ancestors, it has none, the parents should be Earth. What are actually the countries around Jordan? What are siblings that are in the area? Which is loading a bit longer. It actually has Montenegro, Serbia, Macau, and so on and so forth, Emirates, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan. So all of these places are around the area that I have right now. And then there's belong tos, which gives me countries. It also gives me colloquial names. It also gives me area codes, all this information. So you can use this system to actually get all the information inside the GeoPlanet dataset to actually look through it. And that is immensely powerful because I can actually give people a bit of a thing what's going on around them. And I built this system called Around You, for example, which, let's hope it works here, which tries to find my location, asks me for my location, which would work on iPhones and Androids as well. And then it found me actually here in Amman, and it actually found, for me, it found different sites that I could go to right now. So I'm using this to actually, I'm using the GeoPlanet dataset to find where I am, what's around me, and then I use the GeoNames database, which is another one like GeoPlanet, and to find out Wikipedia articles about the area, what's going on here. And it's pretty much powerful what you can do with that. Because if you know the information of that, you can give people a much bigger view of where they are or what's going on. So you have a classic view here as well, which gives you more information. Because I can now, for example, look for Jordan. And it gives me the country Jordan with the location and the bounding box. So I want this one, I don't want the American one. And if that finished loading, I can actually get all the information now. So I have the parent, I've got the ancestors, I've got belongs to is Asia, Amman, Levant, Middle East, Western Asia, and I got siblings and I got children. And if I click all links, you get all the information that we have about this. So what you can do with the GeoPlanet dataset is you can take a word into a geographical location and make a massive data set out of it because you got all this information that is going on around there. And it actually supports the area here, which is not that known to a lot of things. It also supports different language entry. I haven't tried that out earlier yet. That was just built in last week, but my colleague sent me an email and said like that you now have all the Arabic writing as well that have Where on Earth IDs next to them, so you can type them in that way, which probably will be quite a task with my American keyboard. So I'm not going to go for that. But this is the GeoPlanet dataset, which you actually can download and use. There's also a GPL Planet script on GitHub that allows you to take that dataset and put it into a database and make it filterable in your own database. So that one is free.